They'll start. We heard the whistle. John Hartson was perhaps just a little too keen to make his mark. Away we go then on a night of huge opportunity for Celtic. 10 points has been Martin O'Neill's stated qualification target all along. Success here would move them within 1 point of that mark, with 2 games still to go. What a prospect. And there's going to be an early touch of the ball. The goalkeeper, Rab Douglas, as Porto's Payner runs it out of play. David, John Hartson has dominated the pre-match talk, and it really is a big night for him, and you know him well. Yes, there was a debate whether Moravcik could drop deep and leave Larsson up the front, or whether Martin would bring Hartson in. I think that Hartson will add strength, certainly, to the front line, and with Sutton playing so well with Larsson, if they can dovetail as well tonight, then Celtic will have some good attacking play. Hartson's very strong on the ball, and Larsson, I'm sure, will be looking to break off him at every opportunity and to feed off him. Cross which Douglas thought about coming for, and it's there! Porto in front! Clayton! After 1 minute! The worst possible start for Celtic. As the cross came in, it beat poor old Bobo Balda. Douglas declined the opportunity to come and collect, and there was Clayton to head home. Well, from such a deep position, you'd expect Celtic to deal with it, but I think it was Balda who got badly caught out, and Clayton sneaked round the back of him to direct the ball down. The greasy pitch came off the surface very quickly, but it's a deep, deep cross which should have been dealt with. Porto take the lead before Celtic have had time to draw breath just about. Martin O'Neill's men came from 2-0 behind away to Juventus. They come back to 2-2 before losing out to that late cruel penalty that was won and scored by Nicola Amoruso. Got plenty of time to come from behind in this one as we stand. Certainly not what the doctor ordered. Chris Sutton would be thinking the same laid up in bed. For Capuccio, Alan Thompson was back there. Thompson will try and find John Hartson. Won the flick on. Just a little too strong for Larsson. Cleared at the back by Jorge Andrade. There's the coach Octavio Machado, we just caught a glimpse of. He is a man under pressure, according to the local media in this part of Portugal. That may just have eased some of that stress surrounding him. Mario Silva. That's Clayton looking for Mario Silva with the return. Neil Lennon in there in the nick of time. And it's only a goal kick despite Lennon's intervention. Porto protest. Referee René Temminck has none of it. I just wonder about a Gap's position on the goal. Trying to get round behind Bobo Balda as Clayton headed the ball in. Clayton playing from a slightly leftish position, wide leftish position. Payner playing up the front, Deco just behind him, and Capuccio towards the right-hand side. It could easily stretch the 3 centre-backs of Celtic. In between Larsson and Hartson, Jorge Andrade was there again. It's Petrov who's gone to ground and won a free kick for Celtic. Martin O'Neill wasn't on the bench when these sides met in Glasgow. Of legs. Free kick comes to nothing. Lennon. Forward by Paredes. Cut out, or semi-cut out by Agat. Lambert. Picked out by Martin O'Neill as one of the star performers last week against Rosenborg. Did he? Agat likewise. Now it's Larsson. Hartson calling. Steady was trying to play it behind for Petrov. It's cleared and played to great effect. Capuccio giving chase. Valharan trying to stay with him. Porto corner. Valharan did well there to stand up. It was a lovely sweeping cross to the ball.
It's important, the philosophy of Celtic over the next 15 minutes. They mustn't go hell for leather, must try and keep it tight. They can't afford to lose another one. Lambert and Lennon are going to have to sit in a little bit and try and feel the pace of the game.
This time it's goal scorer Clayton with the corner. And a dangerous one again, which Rab Douglas did well to see as it came over the heads at pace towards him. Rab Douglas conceded his first Scottish Premier League goal of the season at the weekend. And Celtic's 2-1 win at Motherwell. Actually played the second half with an injured finger. 2 fingers taped together late on in the game, but no worries about his fitness tonight. There's Lambert. Back with Johan Mjällby. Swede finds the Scot with the return. Challenge again.
Chedo, the coach, making sure that they keep their balance.
Look at the tackle on Paul Lambert. Porto win the throw. Gats, who Martin O'Neill spoke about after the game last week. He said he's gone from being a £50,000 player to a £29 million type of player.
I think that was tongue-in-cheek, but certainly he's got power and pace. There you see it, but he gets the decision against him there. He's got tremendous speed. Sometimes when he gets into advanced positions, he does lack quality with his final ball. In saying that, I'm sure he's improving. But the wonderful thing about Martin O'Neill, he's made 2 wing-backs out of basically a forward player on the right, a Gat, using his tremendous pace, and Thompson, who's got the creativity, normally a left midfield player, playing in a wide defensive role. Very interesting.
Lennon goes in. Deco was wanting a free kick. He's helped out by Mario Silva. It's going to be a Celtic throw at the end of all that scrapping for the ball. Neil Lennon did actually catch his man a little high. Payne, the responsibility on him. It's his second season with Porto, replacing Mario Jardel, who averaged more than a goal a game throughout his time here. Always going to be difficult, but he did all right last year, top scorer in the Portuguese league. Not quite Jardel's goal ratio, but getting there. Here he is. Paredes, the Paraguayan international. That's Ibarra, the Argentine, who's hoping to seal a place in their World Cup squad for Japan and South Korea. Paul Lambert has just decided that he's finished with international football. All the way back to Rab Douglas. Douglas almost caught out by Payne. I don't know if that was sloppy goalkeeping or quick thinking.
Well, I think it was sloppy goalkeeping. He didn't make his decision earlier enough and got into trouble and had to use his footwork.
Cross intended for Payne. Well, that by his standards is a sitter.
Well, already we've got some warning signs which Martin O'Neill, he'll be jumping up and down literally, because he'll be telling his defenders, get tight, get goal side and get jumping, because that's awful. Similar to the first goal, the defender getting caught under the ball. That time it was Mjällby. And it was Payne who didn't take the encouragement.
Dare I suggest Jardel would have buried that. Payne has scored in the Champions League this season. Got one in the 2-1 win at Rosenborg in their first game, Porto's first game.
Only scored 2 goals in their previous 3 European games this season, prior to this evening.
Hartson leaps. Actually, some of John Hartson's compatriots were on the receiving end of a real pasting here in the second qualifying round for the Champions League. Barry Town were beaten 8-0 on this stage. Payne helped himself to 4 that night. Should have had 1 for the night so far. Val Harden. Maybe back to Douglas, who again clears. Now Larsson. Celtic maybe on the counter. Petrov trying to get away from the challenge. That will be a free kick. One of the easier decisions Mr. Temmick will have to make all evening, and it's going to be a yellow card as well. Ostina in the book.
Seen some giant referees, but he is massive. I'm told this is one of his first big European games. It'll be interesting to see how he does tonight, but he was certainly correct with that decision. Petrov, of course, one of the few Celtic players who really runs at people with the ball and goes past midfield players and causes a problem to back players when he gains possession going into the advancing final third.
Celtic free kick. Alan Thompson's over the ball. Too far out for him to repeat his trick of Rosenberg a week ago. And that's rather wasteful. It's confirmation of Castille's booking. Scored in the Champions League against Rangers at Ibrox last season in the colours of Monaco. Back in his homeland, you may remember Castilla from Euro 2000 in a late-headed goal for Portugal against Romania. Larsson, Hartson's role for him there. Towards Deco, Lennon was going in with the challenge and a little too strongly for the referee's liking. Deco just sitting behind the main strikers, and a real box of tricks for Porto.
I think that's one of the problems, Guy, at the moment. Deco's just sitting behind the three strikers, Capucho on the right, Payner in the middle and Clayton on the left. And the foursome have real ability on the ball, and they're giving a little problem, certainly to Valgaeren on the left, because he's having to come out and mark Capucho. And I think as a left centre-back of three, he doesn't really want to come into too wide a position.
Forward by Paredes. Lennon got there before Balda. Clayton. There's Lennon again. Back with Valgaeren. All very tight in the centre circle. Petrov finds Balda with some room. He's picked out Lambert all the way through for Agat, who's got the pace to get there. Can he find the final ball? Whipped in all the way across towards Thompson. Crosses in towards Larsson. Dealt with very well by the Porto back line.
That was the first real piece of encouragement for Celtic. A nice pass by Balder, a good pass by Lambert, and a nice deep cross by Agat. That's encouraging.
Balder. Just question marks about the big Frenchman at the back for Celtic over the goal that came right on the 1 minute mark. That's why the faces are pretty glum in green and white hoops right now. Leo Silva's throw. Balder committing the foul, and his eagerness to get there ahead of Payner.
He's a tough defender. Martin O'Neill will be looking, he'll be speaking to John Robertson, his assistant, and Stevie Walford, his coach. He'll be looking at the way the front play of Porto is threatening to stretch Celtic, which would really give a problem to the two wing-backs. He wants a gap to get forward, not maybe so much as Thompson, but they're going to be forced backwards if Celtic don't adjust their shape.
Mario Silva. Deco was trying to touch it on towards Payner. It's Castille's header. Oh, it's missed by Mjällby. This is Payner trying to get in, and Payner's still got a chance, and still Payner! It's a corner.
Well, I thought he handled that ball there in the forcing of the issue against the Celtic player. Probably took it half a yard too far. 27-year-old Brazilian. 10 goals this season in 16 games. There you see he's got footwork and a bit of strength. It was Lennon on the line that just got the touch.
Crucial touch it was too. It's Capucho and Valgaeren in close attendance. Payner, 2 chances, 2 missed so far. Deep one. Capucho backtracking. Payner will leap again. Balder was there. This time Celtic can get it away properly through Lennon. Lennon once more. Straight to Castilla. That will beat everyone.
Poor ball by Cristina, a holding midfield player. As is Paredes, his partner there in the centre. They sit in front of a back four. 2 very promising young Portuguese centre-backs who were marking Hartson and Larsson. Sounds quite a lyrical combination, that. I don't know whether they'll dovetail like Wright and Bright. That was a famous lyrical combination.
There's Hartson trying to find Larsson and getting a free kick in the process. Quite sure just how many John Hartson type strikers there are in the Portuguese league for Octavio Machado's defenders to come up against. It'll certainly be a tough proposition. Celtic free kick. Lambert in charge. Looking for Balda. Pulled away by Castilla. Here's Payner. Control. Lennon. Emergency right back for the moment, all the way
Good
back
covering.
to Douglas.
Good covering. Deceptive Lennon. You sometimes look at his running style, long shorts, short body, and you think he can't run, but he gets there. He pumps away, and because he's got that yard in his brain, that yard of anticipation.
Time it went against John Hartson. Ricardo Carvalho has been in the news for Porto, replacing the regular captain in the team, Jorge Costa, who's had a very public fallout with coach Machado. Threw his shirt to the ground in disgust after a recent league game when he was substituted, and he's not figured in the Portuguese league since, and only once in Europe. He was in the game at Celtic. Offside flag raised against Capucho.
Capucho holding a very wide position, and if Thompson is forced back to take in, which plays Valgaeren more centrally, then the space is going to develop for Ibarra, the Argentinian, in the right back position to come forward. But Capucho is a very talented player, and you see from that shot there, he's playing in a very wide role.
Douglas has gone out wide for the moment to put this one forward. Straight onto the head of Ibarra, though. Further away by Ricardo Carvalho. That's Hartson. Claiming a free kick that never came. Nielby. They played Valgaeren into trouble, and that was really the only option for the Belgian. Ibarra. Handled by Thompson. All the way over, trying to find Mario Silva. It was good anticipation by Agat, and he's got it from Larsson. Back towards the Super Swede now. Larsson turning provider, and maybe he's better in the 6-yard box. Henrik Larsson, who just needs one more goal to equal Jimmy Johnston's Celtic club record of 16 in Europe. Didn't get it last week against Rosenborg. Was on target again in Scotland at the weekend with a penalty at Motherwell. Just can't keep him down for long.
Early impressions are that Larsson will look to run the channels a little bit more, and Hartson will play up the middle, and they'll try and hit him as the main target man. I thought before the game that Hartson would play right up the front and Larsson might drop a little bit deeper to give a little bit more help into the midfield, but that's not the case at the moment. They're playing up together.
Larsson not quite getting high enough for that one. This is Lambert. Agat. Not out of room that time. Celtic throw. Agat. Given the ball by Jorge Andrade. Helping hand came from Mario Silva. Now it's Clayton all the way over towards Capucho. Valgaeren struggling. Capucho waiting for the blue and white shirts to arrive. Here they come. Another great chance. Oh, the post save Celtic. Deco denied. Clayton went down. And he's going to get a yellow card for that too. The referee was in no doubt at all that that was a dive.
Well, a poor ending for Clayton to a lovely passage of play, which he instigated. It was a fantastic crossfield ball to Capucho, who's holding this wide position. When the ball came in, there we see a wonderful chance. First the dummy, then clearly beating Douglas. Warning signs for Celtic. They're getting stretched with this ball across the park. Clayton's got a good diagonal left foot on him, and Capucho's the target, and that's the thing that Martin's got to sort out. There we see the return. He certainly didn't get touched, and the referee was 5 yards away, and absolutely right.
1-0 down after a minute. It could have been 3 or 4 after 18. And here they come again with Capucho. Valgaeren has got his hands full tonight. And Capucho's trying to get through him. Was that a dive as well? And his protests are going to earn him a card, maybe. No, the referee's thought better of it. Just a warning, a wag of the finger. Celtic try and break, and lose out once more. Referee Timmink happy to let the game flow, and now we will have a free kick, and it's gone to Porto. Well, everybody in the stand is booing the referee, whether you're blue and white or green and white.
Well, certainly Machado, the Coach, manager is very unhappy. He's giving the fourth official a mouthful. There we see the challenge. But Celtic do have a problem, and that's the man that's giving them the problem. And Martin has to decide. I don't know really if he's got any type of orthodox left full-back on the touchline, but there we see Valgaeren getting sucked out of that centre-back position and being teased. And when he pushes it through his legs, did he obstruct him? At worst, free kick, indirect. No such thing nowadays, of course.
Porto with a free kick a little further out than they really would have wanted. Deco in charge. So need to try and throw Celtic off. The long-range one takes a deflection, and it's going to be a corner. The pressure continues. Not particularly happy watching for those Celtic fans so far. Maybe just in the back of their mind thinking, well, it's only one, it could have been serious damage at this stage. Pucho watched by Mielby. It's going to be Clayton, the goal scorer, with the corner. It's it back from Ibarra. Flat one, which Paredes tried to control. And the pullback was met only by Valgaeren. Nobody up, though, for Celtic. Forward by Ibarra, Douglas coming. Wise choice and a good take. Throw in Celtic, good challenge by Deco. Worth bearing in mind what Celtic are up against this evening. Only Manchester United, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid have played more Champions League games than FC Porto. Their 8th appearance in 9 seasons of Champions League football. Lagat. Bear in mind, this is just Celtic's 4th game in the competition. Lagat's cross, a decent one. Oh, the keeper off Chinikov struggling. Lambert couldn't quite get there in time. Pucho. Costinha. Is he already going to ground? The assistant referee who gave the decision against Celtic in terms of a free kick, as we take another look at Ovchinnikov spilling Agat's cross.
Agat did very well there to get an angle, to get that ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. Because Mario Silva had tried to force him on the inside, but he was very brave, Agat, and was determined and managed to get an angle on the outside.
Deco. Oh, great cross, and Capucho didn't get a clean touch. If he had, it was definitely 2. Now, he missed a similar chance against Juventus a week ago.
Well, on set plays alone, Celtic are amiss tonight. Capucho finding space. I think the leaders in the team, I suggest they probably are Lambert and Lennon, have got to get a hold of those defenders and say, look, let's make sure we get a man when the ball's being played in from wide positions and stay with him.
One thing we've realised already after 23 minutes is that the man Deco puts in a mean free kick. Here's Thompson. Good play. Barrow, the defender. Larson. Always turned Carvalho. Might not quite get there, though.
Well, on a dry day, Larson was very clever there. Might just have got that ball before it reached the byline. But it's been an awful day here, and the top is very greasy, and the ball is running fast.
Sergei Ovchinnikov is the Russian in goal for FC Porto. It's his 5th year in Portugal, previously with Benfica and Alverca. Presumably prefers the climate to Moscow. Isn't much different today. Agat. Balda. Agat will gamely give chase. Jorge Andrade very cleverly plays it off him to win the throw.
Yeah, it's very strange that when Andrade came over, I'm sure an English defender would have put that in row Z or even just over the touchline, but there was a Portuguese player probably bred in the idea of keeping the ball on the island and tried to keep it in play. He was fortunate he got the throw in, but sometimes they do rather than play safety first, try and keep the ball in play, not always to their advantage.
The gap was held back there by Mario Silva. The gap wants more than the free kick, he wants a card, Brandish, but won't be the case. Little doubt it was a foul. Alan Thompson on free kick duty. Sadly for Celtic, not really within shooting range this time. It's a decent delivery. Hartson didn't get the touch. Payne. This is Deco out. Now here goes Capuccio. Decker has gone into the centre. That's a poor cross from the Porto captain.
It was a poor cross, but he's got room to deliver it, and that's the important thing. There was very little cover there for Valgaeren when the team got stretched.
Martin O'Neill, giving nothing away as ever in his pre-match press conference yesterday, was asked about the threat that would come from the Porto right-hand side, the attacking fullback Ibarra and Capuccio ahead of him. He dismissed it by saying, well, the left-hand side's pretty useful too. I think we've got plenty to worry about all across the pitch, and what we've seen so far has really borne that out. It's from that left-hand side. Clayton ghosted in to score a cross on the right. Agat. Lost out. Mario Silva and Deco doubling up on him. Balder's challenge. Lennon. Hold it off Clayton. A goal kick for Lab Douglas. Neil Lennon, who's very much sitting deep as a midfielder this evening. He's had a lot of defending to do and he's done it pretty well.
Yeah, at the moment Celtic will be wondering. Here we see again Lennon making sure he wins the goal kick.
Ibarra. Well, I've just given that to Thompson. Thompson. Find either Larsson or Hartson. This is Petrov. Another chance for Alan Thompson to cross. Hardham's throw. Hartson good the touch. Agat was trying to get in. Balder. Thrown in towards Larsson. Agat. This is Lambert. Trying to get in between the two, but Celtic are making steady, edgy progress down this near side touchline. The fans have found their voice. Lambert. Ovchinnikov waits and opts to punch clear. Really should have caught that one.
Well, early signs are that Eleni Koff, the goalkeeper, isn't that comfortable when the ball's in the air, and with Larsson and Hartson outstanding headers, I'm sure Celtic will be impressing on the players the importance of crosses into the box in the second period. Here's a chance maybe from a corner, but the goalkeeper looks decidedly unhappy to me when the ball's in the air. Here we see him going for the ball, quite capable of catching that ball.
Left to Ibarra to play it straight off the back of Jorge Andrade. Rebounded behind. Stilian Petrov put it into the middle. Ovchinnikov stays rooted to his line. And it's over all the heads. Bit of pushing in there as well. Porto free kick.
There's a great Russian goalkeeper that used to play in black called Lev Yashin. Now look so far at this man in black. Doesn't look quite in the same class. Maybe he's far better than he has tried to suggest to us so far.
There's another one who will be hoping to be in the World Cup finals with Russia next year. Mario Silva. Looking for Pena, and Pena still got the header in. Moving away from goal, always going to be difficult, but there he was once more to win it without much of a challenge. And it has been all Porto as we pass the half-hour mark in the Estadio de Santos. This Porto team who went out to Liverpool in the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup last season didn't make the Champions League for the first time ever, as they were beaten in the qualifying rounds by Anderlecht last time. These sides meeting in Glasgow was the only previous occasion that they have met in UEFA club competitions. And Celtic have been to Porto before to play Boa Vista some 16 years back.
Rather stupid challenge on Hartson in his own half by the Portuguese defender.
Mario Silva getting in a tangle with Larsson. Still wins the ball eventually. Clayton. The gap tackling. Porto getting the throw.
So far, Agat hasn't had the space down the right-hand side to go careering forward. I think it was very important once Celtic conceded the goal that they settled. It was vital that they didn't concede another one quickly. That would have destroyed them. They're still well in this, but they need to get Hartson and Larsson in the game. Hartson's been slightly anonymous so far. Hasn't been able to impose himself in any way.
Comfortably watched out of play by Jorge Andrade. And towards Capucho. Useful clearance too, because Capucho will hook it across. Deco is going for the spectacular. Pastinha. Balder strokes it clear. Ibarra. Pucho back to Paredes. This is Ibarra. Lennon's there to just get it anywhere away to safety. Thompson's kept it in, at least temporarily.
Thompson finding it hard going on that left-hand side.
Porto fans who've got most to sing and smile about. Douglas attempts to keep a clean sheet in the Champions League for the third successive game was thwarted after just 1 minute. Larsson. Here's Thompson. All the way over to Balder. Agat. Balder gets it back. Good defending by Paredes, not even to concede the corner. Bobo Baldo winding up to hurl a long one deep into that Porto penalty area. Larsson tries to attack it. Chinikav can make a comfortable claim. Two-handed catching this time. Free kick won by Capucho. Again. Causing problems for Thompson and Valharen. Pastinha. Ibarra.
A loose ball. A little bit of a flat spell. Porto lost that tempo. It's always dangerous sitting on a one-goal lead. I think they've got enough subtlety and cleverness up front really to give Celtic problems, and if they want to go and play a bit further up the field and force the issue, they must feel quite comfortable at the moment. They've restricted Celtic to very little in terms of attacking chances.
There's Payne, chances himself a plenty. They're just looking for Hartson. He's won the header. Larsson. Thompson. Oh, Thompson might just fancy this. He's trying to feed it in. And a rather wild finish from Stilian Petrov. Promise, signs of promise for those travelling fans.
It's a good break by Thompson. Machado not happy that he even had the opportunity to shoot, but as it came up, he hit it with his left foot, on the half turn, probably hit it too high, needed it to drop long. It was a hard effort. There's Thompson, there we see the ball as it sits up, needs to drop a little bit lower. He's never going to get that ball down.
And it was Stilian Petrov who got Celtic back into the game in Turin, in the opening Champions League encounter with Juventus. Still plenty of time for them tonight as Hartson is beaten in the air by Ricardo Carvalho.
He looks a good player, Carvalho, the man that's marking Hartson.
Capuccio, who we know is a good player. Clayton. Man who's made the ultimate difference so far with the only goal. It's Mielby's clearance, but it's just invited the pressure back on once more. Ibarra. Deco. Well won, it's a good combination between Valharan and Mielby, and now Hartson, who's just caught in possession. Possibly just lacking a little bit of match sharpness. He hasn't played too many times since arriving from Coventry City on the eve of the season.
Well, he was complaining there that he didn't get a call.
Two 1. Well, here's hoping. Capuccio. All the way through to Rab Douglas. And is it me, David, or are there signs that Porto are not quite finding their rhythm just at the moment around the edge of that Celtic penalty area?
No, I think they're getting more bodies forward, Guy. I think they're getting into that area. Just the final pass is a little bit off-key. But I think they're comfortable, and of course that can always be a danger too. But Celtic aren't giving them too many problems from an attacking point of view, and that would concern Martin. And what he's done, he's tried to push Boulder forward a little bit and sit Lennon deeper.
It's Balder's throw, which was flicked on by a Porto head. It did just go out. It's going to be a Celtic corner. Hit Alan Thompson's knee as he stood behind the touchline, the byline. Maybe an unexpected bonus to come. The gap will leave it for Thompson. Delivered deep towards Larsson. Can't have seen it till pretty late on in the day.
It's a terrific ball in. Fast, with a low trajectory. A good ball, I think, for Larsson to meet.
Mentioned earlier that he scored from the penalty spot at Motherwell on Saturday. It ended a run of 2 Celtic games without a goal, and that for him is a barren spell. Hartson still looking for his first in Celtic colours, and that's a good ball to Agat. Agat trying to get around Mario Silva. Nobody there in the centre. Costinha. So they'd already gone. Porto with a free kick for handball as Octavio Machado prowls the touchline. Martin O'Neill, for once, is pretty static. Gathering his thoughts ready for half-time. We're just under 6 minutes away. Just whatever stoppages are added on. It's Capuccio. Valharan trying to keep him stuck to that touchline. Still the cross for Payne. Well, that was out of absolutely nothing.
It was a fine header. He was going away from goal. The cross in the first place was superb. He had inches to get that ball in. He not only got it in, he pulled it right back, and it could easily have caught Douglas out. A really fine cross and a superb header.
Hartson beaten to it by Jorge Andrade. His power there. His touch wasn't the best. Second has to be sure to his goalkeeper. Douglas wants time. He was denying him.
Slightly indecisive, Rob Douglas tonight, in my view, on the back pass, and when he's dealing with the ball at its feet.
Celtic certainly not played with the same sort of positive purpose that we saw in their home ground against Rosenborg a week ago. Indecisive is probably the word, front and back. Paredes took it away from Costinha. Pucho is beaten by Valharden. It's Mjolby to Thompson, and back again towards Hartson. For the defending of Carlos Paredes. Lambert is adjudged to have climbed above Deco. I don't think he's too happy with that.
I find it difficult to pick up Deco. He's just floating behind Payne. Sometimes he's finding space a little bit easily because Lennon's dropped deeper.
Petrov.
In fact, Lennon's almost dropped as the second centre-back here, and Valgaren's gone much wider to try and cope with Capucho to get tighter to him. That's really the change that Martin has made in this half. Lennon has definitely dropped deeper. Lambert in the midfield with Petrov. Agat pushed further forward as a consequence on the right. Thompson now can try and get forward on the left without worrying too much about what's behind him. So there's a little bit more cover for Valgaren.
Pretty much a standard 4-4-2 at the moment from Celtic. He's conceded possession to Costinha. Payne. Robbed of it by Petrov. Deco comes to his aid. And Deco. Payne. Oh, the two combined so well, and Payne was nearly through once more. Illustration of just how Porto have been in this first half. Amazing that it's still only 1-0 to the home team. Ibarra. Paredes wants it back from Ibarra. Wide to Capucho. And 5 blue and white in the centre. Ibarra has stayed back. Just a tester for Rab Douglas. Watched it all the way. Gets on with it, looking for Larsson. Hartson. 2 against 3. And Celtic defy the odds. Well, they've won a corner, and that's good work between Larsson and Hartson.
Sometimes they've got to play close together. They've got to drag the defenders towards each other. Sometimes it gives opportunities for people to make breaks from midfield. Must work as a partnership. There was an opportunity maybe for Larsson to get through.
Ripping the shorts of Jorge Andrade. Had a busy night. Chinikov bounces up and down in readiness. Larsson standing right in front of him, and Larsson was trying to get the little flick. Gone behind for a goal kick though. Henrik Larsson due to face England next month in the colours of his national team Sweden. An interesting game for Sven-Göran Eriksson. Hartson. Haaland to tidy up under pressure from Deco. Midway through the last minute of normal time in this first half, and Porto ending as they started, forcing a corner.
There's no doubt where the main thrust has come from. It's come from that wide right position. That's where the creativity's stemmed from. And Valgaeren, to be fair, as Martin's adjusted the team, has done better as he's been a stubborn resistance in the last 20 minutes down that side.
Clayton fires it across. It's Balder who got a good strong header away. Fired back through the crowd! Oh, what a shot! Porto double their lead. Mario Silva really got a hold of that. A goal in the first minute of the half, a goal in the last minute of the half. 2-0 FC Porto.
Well, Mario Silva had acres of room really to line that shot up. There we see the header away, it was Bob Balder. There we see the shot coming in, it was Balder indeed. Not only headed it away, but made the advance to try and stop the shot. That there's no one within 12, 15 yards. The nearest man when he hit the shot was Balder at 5 yards. They need a block, they need someone closer. They need to be aware of him on the edge of the box, and they've suffered because of a lack of a defensive organisation.
Celtic need it to be Turin all over again. 2-0 down. Half-time approaching. Do they have the strength of character to come back into this one? And there it is. Half-time whistle is blown in the Estadio de Santos. First minute it was Clayton. Last minute of the half it was Mario Silva, and it's Octavio Machado's side who are 2-0 in front when the half-time whistle went. Work to do for Martin O'Neill and co. It's FC Porto 2, Celtic 0.
There are times when some makeup can actually make spots worse. That's why Neutrogena introduced skin clearing makeup to really help clear your skin. Developed by dermatologists, it contains a proven spot-fighting ingredient. And it's oil-free to help keep pores clear. Neutrogena skin clearing makeup.
Are you at your best every morning? Actimel from Danone contains 10 billion L-Casei Immunitas cultures. Natural goodness.
Danone.
Smuggling drugs is a serious crime. In some countries, they'll give you life. In others, they'll take your life. Never carry anything for anyone else. Don't let your next holiday be the last.
It's worth remembering that back in 1967, when Celtic lifted the European Cup, it was in this very country, 70 miles or so down the coast in Lisbon. Billy McNeil is sitting not too very far away from us in this commentary position this evening. Maybe his presence could stir up the spirit of then, as Larsson was down looking for a free kick, receiving only a hug from Jorge Andrade, nothing from the referee. Back from 2-0 down in Turin, only to lose out in the final seconds. It's their hope that they can repeat the trick as Hartson wins a corner. It's certainly a bright start to the restart from Celtic.
Well, two good bits of play by Hartson, the flick that led to Larsson going through, and then a little bit of a more brighter run down the left-hand side. I thought he was static in the first half, he needs to get down the channels.
Was fired in and a stooping header clear. Lambert. Oh, Petrov was just wrong-footed, tried gamely to regain his balance and get back in there. Barra with the throw. Summer buy from Boca Juniors. Very effective signing too, made by Machado. Lennon still occupying that central defensive role that he ended the first half in. Martin O'Neill has clearly decided that 4 at the back is the way to go in Porto. Costinha. Plenty of time for Bobo Balda. Let's just swap roles with Johan Mjällby by the looks of it. Martin O'Neill sticking Balda in the middle and Mjällby over in the right back position for now. There's Balda trying to get away from Capucho, finding Valhara. He's giving it away to Ibarra. Valhara again, Celtic throw, all very messy.
Yeah, I think Celtic will push Agat as far forward as possible this half. Mjällby as a right back, an orthodox right back by the looks of it, and in front of him Agat on the wide right attacking position, the type of position that Capucho held for the home side in the first half so effectively.
Barda looking for Capucho. The little touch was intended for Deco, but Lennon got there. Costinha. Paredes. Capucho hadn't made the run. Valharen guides it back to Douglas, but hit the back pass with a little too much force for the keeper's liking. Dealt with it well enough. This is Agat, who again has been forced back. Balda. Hartson. Battles away to keep Celtic moving. Petrov finally does tumble under a second challenge from Paredes. A word in the ear of the Paraguay man. Got him with the second leg.
He hasn't got three.
Has seemed at times, mind you, as if Porto had more men on the field as Ljubo Moravcik warms up. Lennon. Douglas straight against Pena. You mentioned that in the early stages, David, that his kicking wasn't quite sharp, his awareness maybe. This is Valharen. Oh, he's taking a chance, use Valharen, and he's carried on. Petrov will find Agat. Better stuff from Celtic. Agat round the outside. There are four green and white shirts in the middle, and it's headed behind for the corner by a grateful Ricardo Carvalho.
That's a good ball. There we see it, defeat the goalkeeper. Carvalho on his toes. Hartson was just hanging out a shade on the 6-yard box.
Petrov's corner is a deep one. Nothing Didier Agat could do with that. Goal kick for Octavio Machado's side, but first signs of agitation on the Porto bench.
Well, this is the period where Celtic have really got to try and shake Porto, get a quick goal if they can, play with the tempo, try and play as far forward as possible. They might have to concede a little bit of space at the back.
This is Deco. For the early shot, Yus Valharen was standing in the way. Oh, but still Porto, and that's a difficult one for Douglas. Scrambling across, Clayton, and another left foot strike to cause Celtic a problem or two.
See Payne knocked the ball off. It was an unerring shot. Took a chance along the ground. Fast top.
Balda collided with Pena. The free kick has gone against Bobo Balda. Pena down holding his left thigh.
I don't think anyone would like to collide with Balda, that's for sure. But there's only one gentleman on the field bigger than Balda tonight, and that's the referee.
Pena was certainly caught by a stray boot as Porto fans try and counter the noise that Celtic fans made for just a brief moment, trying to lift their side. Martin O'Neill mentioned that against Rosenborg last week. He said the supporters played their part significantly in the second half during the quieter moments. They sang and really got behind the team at just the right times. They could play a significant part in the rest of this evening, that's for sure. You can see Balda as his right boot carried on. It just caught the inside of Pena's left thigh. He's off, at least temporarily. really be celebrating having scored 2 goals this evening by his standards.
I'm told there's a very good young forward on the Porto bench tonight, Postija. Love to see him get an opportunity.
He's 19 years old, the young Portuguese striker Elder Postija awaits his chance. Celtic are looking for theirs with Petrov. Hartson was calling for it. Petrov decided to hang on and win the free kick. As Payne comes back into the action. Valharden. Oh, he's miscued that one towards Henrik Larsson. Not even he can keep that one in.
Well, there's a right-footed player essentially playing in the left-back position now. It's a loose right-footed pass. He's got Thompson in front of him. Thompson in a wider role. I'm sure he'd rather play where the action is, more in the centre, rather than relying on people to supply him with the ball.
Lennon. There's a Gat who you can almost see every time he gets the ball he wants to get down that wing, but he's not getting far enough forward. He might do this time. And Gat will try and get to the byline and use his pace. It's a good block challenge. Porto can clear. Wonderful defending. And Mario Silva. Celtic throw for Johan Mjällby to take. Concern on those Glaswegian faces. Larsson, now a Gat. Doesn't get the free kick. Porto will try and break. That's intended for Capuccio. Valharden had to make sure he got something on it.
He read it well, and of course he had the ball was in the air a long time to give him an opportunity.
Now Lennon's given it back to Mario Silva. He's continued on his run a little too early. Offside. Porto fans are enjoying themselves though.
Well, the good thing about Machado, there we see the offside. He was possibly a little bit unfortunate to be given offside. We know that level is okay. But from the Portuguese point of view, they haven't changed their system. They could well have tucked their wide players in a little bit. They have not done that. They're still trying to stretch Celtic at every opportunity.
Here's Thompson. Couldn't find his man, but was brought down just as he laid the ball away. Costinha with the challenge. Costinha was booked in the first half. Just have to watch his step.
I'd be surprised if Martin O'Neill thinks about a substitution.
Just hear the fans calling for Lubo Moravcik. It's fired towards Balder. This is Hartson, the flag's up. All very frustrating for the Celtic fans. Away in the left-hand corner as you look at it. Frustrating night so far for him too. When will that goal come?
I don't think necessarily it'll be Hartson to make way for Moravcik. It'd be interesting. My gut feeling is it may be Thompson. It's a tricky one, this.
Well, it is going to be Lubomir Moravcik, who scored on Saturday at Motherwell with a wonderful 25-yard free kick. Such a gifted player.
The fourth official is just trying to find out how to work the board. He should have had some practice. He's been here. It is Thompson.
Alan Thompson, as with last week against Rosenborg, is the player to make way. Lubo Moravcik, having reminded the fans of his talents and skills at Motherwell at the weekend, it's another chance to impress. 36 years old now, the Slovakian. Bags of energy still. Here's Larsson, looking to find Moravcik. Moravcik has won it. Wanted the free kick, which he didn't win. Payne. Valharden getting back.
Well, the Brazilian and the Portuguese not on the same wavelength there. Thompson will be a little bit disappointed. He had a difficult first half. Caught in between the devil and the deep blue sea when they were playing that crossfield ball and was forcing his left centre back out. Moravcik, of course, has got sparkling feet, very clever player, and I think they need that little bit extra creativity at this stage in the game.
Harden looking for Hartson. Henrik Larsson might just get in. Still Larsson. Didn't fall for Moravcik. Again. took a deflection. And it made it an easy headed clearance for George Andrade. Petrov. Moravcik scrapping in there. Costinha. This is Ibarra. Off the chest of Lennon for a Porto throw. Ibarra. It's Capucho twisting, turning, trying to find space. Now Ibarra. It's intended for Pena. Baldo was in the right place to head away. Moravcik. Cut out by Costinha. Ibarra gets the return from Deco. Valharan with a strange sort of clearance, but he has managed to find Lambert. Agat, given away. This is Mario Silva. Didn't hit that as cleanly as he did for the one that brought about the Porto second goal.
Good anticipation, coming in quickly and robbing Agat, almost making himself an opportunity.
Moravcik. He sparked something into life for Celtic.
Taking a bit of a roving role, whereas
Agat.
Thompson was very much on the left.
Petrov. Good challenge initially from Lambert, but it was Capucho who picked up the pieces. And he's got 3 men in support. He couldn't find any of them. Really is a poor pass from Capucho. That might just lift Celtic a little to see that. Octavio Machado is applauding the play up until that point.
Well, I think what Machado, the coach, was doing was quite right, really, was to try and restore the morale. He did ever so well, Capucho, and then it was a loose ball, but immediately the crowd erupted in disgust. And what the manager was trying to say is, hang on a minute, that was good play.
Free kick has gone against John Hartson.
John mustn't get irritated with himself. Hartson's a big, strong player. He can cope with any problems on the field, but sometimes if things starts going against him, there is a tendency to blame others or blame the officials. He must get on with the game and stay optimistic.
Valharan. Asking a lot of Henrik Larsson again. You can see Martin O'Neill doing exactly the same as Coach Machado just a few moments ago, applauding the attention and trying to keep things lifted and upbeat.
Absolutely.
Capucho. Pena. Nice little back heel to his captain. Good skills from Capucho again. Lennon. Now Douglas this time clears it with his first touch. Not going to take any chances. Capucho. And we're starting to see an array of tricks and flicks from the Portuguese. Paredes back to Costinha. And they're trying to find space over on the other side with Mario Silva. Useful run from Clayton, and Clayton is in! Could be 3-0! Clayton second, Porto third. It looks like good night Celtic.
Well, we want to see that one again, and again, and again. A coaching masterclass that. Mauro Silva, the left back, made a super run to take a defender away, and he left the space for Clayton to come inside and to play the 1-2 and to finish with that fierce shot. It was superb play, great movement. There we see Clayton starting his run, coming inside, playing the ball off Deco, taking it right foot, left foot, one touch, and a drive which Douglas couldn't hold. Good movement, fine play. Maybe Douglas, if we were very harsh, in line for the ball, should he have parried it away.
Balda. Agat. Valharan only headed that towards Capucho. Got Pena in the centre. Pena! Useful touch from Balda. Fired in again, and Douglas spilled it first time. then recovered with Payne lurking. It was Clayton who's firing them in from all angles.
Well, if you're a neutral, enjoy some of the attacking play of the three front players of Porto. It's clever, and it's quick, and it's positive.
It's also a stark reminder to Celtic of what the Champions League is all about. 2 1-0 wins against Porto and against Rosenborg at home. This is their wake-up call. Bobo Balder's head had connected with that one. Could have been 4-0 and gone anywhere.
Not easy for Martin O'Neill now. He's got Mialbi and Valgaeren playing as full-backs. He's got Lennon playing almost as a second centre-back. He's got Agat in unfamiliar this season anyway, outside right territory. So there is a situation here where several Celtic players are not comfortable maybe in the positions that they're playing regularly in a winning run in Scotland.
And here they have a free kick to defend. Delivered deep towards Ibarra. Some of the momentum just lost. Ibarra again. 2 challenges from Petrov bring about a Porto throw. Ibarra. Capucho. Porto fans are savouring every touch of the ball. Offside flag raised. Well, that looked a strange one, but Ibarra is the guilty party, it seems.
Might sound, here we see it, but you didn't see the run of Mauro Silva that went across, a diagonal run into the wide left position, which made the space in the first place for Deco to play that clever return and the terrific driven shot.
Looking at replay after replay, as I'm sure we will, of that goal.
I think Rob
I'm
Douglas...
less and less impressed with Rob Douglas.
Yeah, I don't think he's had the best of nights at the moment, but here's a substitution.
The first appearance in the Champions League. This is Silla's moment of truth. Mohamed Silla, a summer signing from St Johnstone.
Looks very slight. I think he's quick.
It's his 4th appearance in Celtic colours. The previous 3 have all been starts, all in the Scottish Premier League.
May seem quite irrelevant, Guy, to mention about 3 players, including that young man, or 26-year-old, whatever he is, Capucho, are not wearing pads. And I think that a couple of seasons ago there was a regulation introduced by FIFA that players had to wear pads. But it's amazing how these things are forgotten.
And there's Ibarra trying to break into the danger area. Balder has just kept it in. Just going to say, this is UEFA, not FIFA, though, is it? Different rules, who knows? May come back to haunt them not wearing those shin pads, especially with Bobo Balder around. Agat. Ambitious ball. Has found Silla. Moravcik. Silla.
I think this will be a comeback of all time if they can snatch another. Occasionally there are comebacks. I think Manchester United are famous for one a few days ago in London. But I cannot see Celtic at the moment. They've gone for pace in the wide positions with Agat and Silla. But in the first half, statistics show they didn't have 1 effort directly on goal, and that's quite severe. And I don't think really this half they've done that much better.
Lubo Moravcik sums up the Celtic mood at the moment. Capucho round the outside of Valgaeren. And the cross is headed, well, almost behind by Mialbi. Silla managed to keep it in. The clearance wasn't special, though. Mario Silva will get the cross in, and Douglas read it well. Just too high for Payne it was. There's a Agat, switch to the left-hand side and losing out. Is Douglas going to be caught out here? There's the confidence flowing through Porto. It was Deco who had 1 look-up, 1 shot.
Well, it could have been a wonderful goal. It Drop to the right man, Deco. Impudent effort. Here we see the ball rolling to him, and there's Douglas. I think he feels confident at first. Well, no.
There are great similarities between Portuguese and Brazilian football, not just in the language spoken. This Brazilian influence is certainly showing itself in the Porto side tonight. 2 goals from Clayton. Deco and Payne are also contributing well. Away now goes Ricardo Carvalho, chancing his arm.
He's done well. He's one to watch.
He's on the ball again. Mario Silva fouled by Silla. Valharden. Porto in no hurry. Ibarra. Lennon's challenge finds a gap. Now Valharden. Away to Castinho. Plays the 1-2 off the shins of a gap and then loses the ball. Balda. Moravcik. Lambert. Larsson. Not too many options for him. Mjelby. Silla. Trying to turn around Mario Silva. He's done well. Silla finds the cross, which tumbles into the arms of Sergei Ovchinnikov. An underemployed goalkeeper this evening. His bowl out has got Porto away here again. It was 4 against 4, but then they just eased up on the acceleration. They're still weaving their way into the box with Clayton, though. Payne awaiting on the edge of the 6-yard box. Clayton trying to pick out Capucho. Douglas will come out to claim. Celtic taking chances, leaving gaps. I said gaps, I meant holes. Lambert. Silla had just checked to stay onside, and that was why he wasn't moving onto the ball.
Yeah, not in tune there. Not easy for Silla. Coming onto the field at this stage of the game, his team 3-0 down. Would love to make an impression. His team are being forced back.
All the way back to Rab Douglas. Porto contemplating changes of their own. The gap heads on to Larsson. Certainly doesn't enjoy games like this when chances aren't coming his way. Gat. Larsson. Lost out to Deco. That's Carvalho. Felt he was caught by Silla. Clayton. All the way over here is Capucho. Capucho plays it straight against Lambert. The flag was already up. Forget the appeals for handball. Offside was the decision that had been made.
Good spot, Guy. Because I'm looking there and thinking, oh dear, penalty. Good spot.
Capucho plenty to smile about. Captaining a team who are 3-0 ahead. Now preparing to throw Rubens Junior into the fray, just to add to the Brazilian contingent. And Silla.
Now you look at Boa Vista. I saw them play at Liverpool the other week with a Brazilian connection. It's quite amazing the amount of Brazilian players, not top players by their country's standard, you know, who get exported every year all over the world. It's an incredible figure. Over 600 players every year get exported out of Brazil to leagues around the world. Quite incredible.
We're about to see Rubens Junior come on to make it a 4th uncapped Brazilian on the field for Porto, depending of course on who he replaces. It's Deco. Sure, he won't come off.
4v3. 4v3. What a chance.
Capucho back to Deco. This is all too easy. Deco was maybe a little too casual as a result.
Well, it's difficult to be harsh in these circumstances. Sympathetic applause from his coach, sympathetic applause from the crowd, but really that was pathetic finishing from a good move.
It's Clayton who's going to make way. 2-goal hero of the night for Porto. We'll take a look at the miss from his fellow Brazilian Deco. Really would have wrapped the game up.
Must hit it across the goalkeeper. Far side, across the deck.
Clayton goes off to a standing ovation, at least from those who are wearing blue and white in the crowd. Thumbs up for Porto as Rubens Junior takes his place. Of the 4 Brazilians in this Porto squad tonight, only Deco has got any international honours, and he was capped only by the Olympic squad in qualifying, not even at the games themselves.
Another little tickle or change that Martin has made now. Too little too late, I think, of course. Lambert dropping deeper. Lennon playing in front now in his more accustomed holding midfield position. Lambert at the back going to try and help Boulder hold the threat of Payne. Deco, as the game's gone on, has gone even further forward to support Payne. It's been an interesting game tactically, but you have to say all the aces have been in the home camp.
Celtic will have plenty to do in their remaining 2 Champions League games, away to Rosenborg next week. That is no easy game at all, goes without saying, and then home to Juventus, which could promise to be a classic finale. We hope for Celtic's sake that it's not the finale as regards the Champions League for them this season.
We've just got to hope that they haven't got to beat Juventus in that last game, because that will be difficult, because if they have to really come forward to win the game and Juventus are in a comfortable position, then Juventus have the classic forward players to break and expose that.
There's Porto trying to engineer a classic set piece for Rab Douglas and co to keep out. Anybody's guess who's going to take charge of this. There are so many candidates. Douglas watching intently. Everybody moves away for the ball and leaves it for Deco's craft. Deco, he's going for goal. Nearly caught out Douglas. At least he expected it, I certainly didn't. Silla couldn't keep it in. He's going to learn about the Champions League fast, the Guinea international.
It's a strange signing, wasn't it? It's one of Martin's where he's played games in Celtic, assessed players who've played against them and done well, particularly fast players like Agat, Silla. You have Lapati, I think, who's gone across the city, who've done well at other clubs and have been taken by the big 2.
There's proof for supporters of other Scottish clubs watching that the big 2 can be shaken. Porto really proved it a few years ago. The Portuguese old firm of Benfica and Sporting Lisbon really rocked by FC Porto in their run of power and prominence in the 90s. Boa Vista have now joined them. It's Porto who is the leading city in Portuguese football these days. Here's Moravcik. Stenia's header.
Larson pulling
back
wide.
to Carvalho.
Yeah, Larson pulling wide, trying to stretch the back players. Poor Chris Sutton must be watching this and suffering a little bit. He's played splendidly this season in this competition.
Here's Moravcik. Less than 12 minutes plus stoppages to go. Silla. Oh, he's done really well this time. Couldn't quite regain his balance, but has got a free kick.
This is where Thompson is often useful with his left foot, swerving those balls in. I think they lack left footers at Celtic, natural left footers. Moravcik, of course, is a 2-footed player. He's going to take this one with his right. Don't think they've got a left footer on the field at the moment.
It's Moravcik who puts it in. Hartson leaping. Balder came in at pace and with force and climbing.
And I think probably lost an opportunity for Hartson. I think he got in front of him there from that well-delivered ball by Moravcik. There we see that ball, Hartson going for it. Boulder deciding to make a late break. Trouble.
Deco. Lambert adjusted quicker than Payne could, but then he ran into trouble himself. Good work from Ibarra. And that's Deco's cross! Somehow scrambled clear. Agat now. Rolls nicely for Rab Douglas.
Just been a general messiness about the Celtic defending tonight. It happened early when Capucha's cross was headed in very early, and it hasn't really gone away. There's been a nervousness, an edginess. It's very difficult to pin it down, really. There we see a very poor pass, Schiller moving on, just a lack of communication. Players have these nights, teams have these nights. Martin's seen it all before, not too many times, of course, he's a very successful manager, but it might give him something to dig into the players about. It can't be easy when you're winning regularly and you want to really make a stance and have a go at them. Even the Celtic supporters, they're very disappointed with that ball, beginning to leave the stadium. He's come all the way from America and he's unhappy.
Another change to be made by Porto. Costinha is going to make way for Fredrik Söderström, Swede. We'll ignore the fact he's got Fredrik on his back. We'll call him by his surname, Söderström. He's trying to fit in with the Portuguese culture, as Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank did when he was across the city with Boa Vista. Just put Jimmy on the back of his shirt.
We could put Freddie on the back of his shirt.
It's Payne. Maybe he is just ruining one or two missed opportunities. Could really have capped the night. Balda towards John Hartson. Larsson. Silla's made a break into the box. This is Momo Silla. But again, the referee's seen some pushing and shoving, and all committed by a Celtic player, and Martin O'Neill feels it's time to take to the water. Something for Octavio Machado to get annoyed about, though. It's been rather comfortable for him in the second half so far. Very uncomfortable for the jester. Lambert. Valhaeren was just being lent into by Capucho.
Yes, absolutely right as well. Spotted by the referee. Let's see if Capucho has any grounds for complaint.
Carvalho was there before Moravcik. Capucho's flick didn't work. Agat. Here's Moravcik. Free in the centre. Not Moravcik's greatest cross. Silla will keep it in. Flip back towards Mjällby. Celtic for a moment looked in danger of getting caught on the counter. Instead they've been, or rather Söderström's been caught by a little boot to the chest. Third and final change looming from Porto coach Machado.
Well, the Portuguese directors don't look that happy, considering they're well on the way to a few million more francs. Nice win bonus.
Swiss francs, that is, the chosen currency in the UEFA Champions League. Chosen by UEFA. Lennon. Silla, caught. Balda, beaten. He'll be finally away. Porto throw. 6 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. We're going to see Paulo Costa in a moment. Porto keep on attacking. Payne is waiting. Douglas made the call loud and clear to Paul Lambert. Here's Moravcik.
desperately wants support. There's been far too many gaps in the second half. It's been very bitty.
Valharan nicks it away from Ibarra. Agat. Valharan's continued. Lennon's out here. Still Neil Lennon. Agat arriving. Oh, wants it on his right foot all the time. Played it straight under the head of Jorge Andrade. Balda got a foot in. Porto threatened to break again. Good job Mohamed Silla was in position, although he didn't exactly cover himself in glory with a pass.
No, he didn't cover himself in glory with a pass, but he did magnificently well to intercept the ball that could have put Porto away. But it was an awful pass, and he's finding it difficult to settle.
You're not going to get your wish, David. Elder Postiga, the 19-year-old, is staying on the bench, but it's another forward who's going to come on. 21-year-old Paulo Costa, an under-21 international with Portugal, and he's replacing his captain, Capucho.
Well, he's a crowd pleaser. He's clever, and he's played a good team game tonight. He's kept great width, and I think that was really the early factor that unnerved Celtic, and I think it was decisive.
And there's Paulo Costa immediately in the action with the cross. Headed away to Soderstrom. Balda will go across, and he's missed it. Rob Douglas was behind him and ready and waiting. Bobo Balda has been pretty impressive in Scotland, in the 2 Champions League games that he's played at Celtic Park in the last couple of weeks, but hasn't quite been up to the task tonight. He's going to be stretched across again. Has to go across and cut it out. Payne was in there and nearly deflected it goalward.
Good example of running to the near post if there's only one in the box.
Porto still looking for goals, even in the last 3.5 minutes. 3 goals to the good. Balda and Payne just having a bit of an altercation of their own away from the ball.
I think he's trying to tell him that's the 10th time in Portuguese.
Just keep a little eye on that for the next 3 minutes or so. Simmering.
Well, he's given him a few batterings, and I think Payne is possibly reminding him of the score.
To get on the wrong side of Bobo Balda. Fortunately, from a Celtic point of view, Porto have got on the wrong side of him plenty this evening. John Hartson makes way. His Champions League debut hasn't gone to plan. Maybe it'll work better for Sean Maloney in the last few minutes. 18-year-old. Come on as a substitute 4 times in the league this season. Scored in a 4-0 win at Dundee.
Saw the grimace of frustration there as Big John Hartson went into the box.
Here's Payne. Paulo Costa. Ran out of room. Maloney. Lambert. Now Mjällby. Trying to find Silla. They're attempting to turn and just having his heels clipped for his trouble. A bit more work for Octavio Machado to do as he leaves his seat in the dugout. Just relieve some of the pressure on him. Side were booed off for their 0-0 draw with Juventus here last week. That just shows you the expectation that Porto have in this competition. Clearly offside. That one was one of the easier ones.
I think when Porto went to Glasgow, they had the majority of the possession. Of course, possession isn't always 9/10 of the law nowadays. You know, a team on the counter-attack can break and score goals and defeat the team that's having a lot of the play. But I think Porto are an attacking-minded team, and I think tonight they've seen the benefits of that against a shaky Celtic performance.
As Yusuf Haren was trying his hand at being a centre-forward for a moment, flicking the header well wide. Petering out in the last minute. We'll wait and see how many minutes of stoppage time are added, but whatever that board says, it will be too much for Celtic. want this one over. They want to get on that flight home to Glasgow to regroup, ready for the trip to Trondheim next week. That won't be easy. Between times, they do have a home game against Dundee United on Saturday, of course. Well, Haren should beat Paulo Costa to the ball. Agat. Robbed. Not even getting the throw.
Well, he can conduct the orchestra now. He's the winning manager tonight.
Might be another goal to celebrate yet. Oh, good hand from Douglas, just kept it away, and Mjällby can clear. There'll be at least 3 minutes more agony for Celtic to endure. Maybe they can just lighten the mood with Maloney looking for Silla. Silla uses his strength to good effect. And still Silla. This is Lennon. And they find a way through. Maloney blocked. And Porto clearing. That would be a sweet moment if he could score on his Champions League bout.
Yeah, he's very well thought of up there. Tell me, he's very strong, very quick, elusive little player. Tell me, he's got great promise.
Ravche. Came off Ibarra for the Celtic throw. This was Deco's ball across, which Rab Douglas got a good strong hand to. He had to. Payne was waiting. Mjällby was able to get it away. Balder. Believe it or not, the noise you can hear, and I'm sure you will believe it, is coming from the Celtic fans. And this is Lennon. And they get something to cheer. Offside. Good evening's work done by Capuccio and Clayton. Particularly Clayton.
Well, if Juventus are to win this evening, then it will make, I think, the last game very interesting, because Rosenborg look as though they would be able to cope with Celtic at home. A very close game, I think, in prospect.
Moravchik. Here's Agat. Agat looking for Larsson. Flicked away. Celtic throw. Keeping going to the last. Martin O'Neill. Sorry, David.
So I was just saying it's worth commenting that the referees had quite a good game tonight.
Balder. Didn't fall for Neil Lennon. Nothing has fallen for Celtic. Now Lambert has to be aware central defence isn't really his role. He's held off Payne and found Douglas. Lennon. Martin O'Neill is heading for just his 8th defeat as Celtic manager. 5 of those defeats have come in European competition. Just shows you the difference in standard that Celtic have got to step up to this season. They've got a free kick. Can they end the evening on a high note? Lubo Moravchik will certainly fancy this with either foot.
Still a good break by him. Very quick. Is this worth an effort directly at goal?
Well, in the 4th minute of stoppage time, you would think so. All lined up right on the edge of the area. It's Moravchik, delicately flicks it in. Off Chinnikov punches. As it breaks away towards Rubens Jr., it's full time at the Estadio de Santos, which hasn't been a happy venue for Celtic this evening. 2-0 down at half-time through goals in the first and last minutes. And then the evening crowned from a Porto point of view by Clayton's 2nd goal of the night. It really has been a fair reflection of the way it's gone for Celtic tonight. Back to reality perhaps. FC Porto 3, Celtic 0.
So a hugely disappointing, if not unexpected result sees Celtic drop down to 3rd place following victory for Juventus over Rosenborg. And the news from Old Trafford was no better. 2 horrendous mistakes by Fabian Barthez gifted Deportivo victory, and the Spaniards are now top. United would have gone third had Olympiacos not defeated Lille. And we'll be following Manchester United in their penultimate group tie in the early hours of next Wednesday morning when they entertain Olympiacos. We'll see you then, but from all of us for now, goodbye.